Hi everybody! So today I'm going to show you to make these little mini dessert cakes. This is what they're going to look like. The little carrots and the little strawberries are both separate videos that you'll find on my channel, and all the links will be down below in the description box. I'm going to be making mine exactly like this one. So you want to pick the colors or the colors that you would like to use. I'm going to be using caramel brown, white, red, pink, and two 4mm black pony beads for the eyes. You're also going to need your stitch marker, your hook, and some stuffing. So I'm going to get started, and I do hope you enjoy. Now what I'm going to do is show you how to make one of these pieces. This one is the bottom piece, and this one will be the top piece, the icing color of your choice. My icing color is going to be a light pink color. So I'm going to show you how to do one, and then you're going to pause the video to make yourself another. One is for the bottom, and one is for the top, whatever color that you're using. I used the neon orange here, and I used white here. So I'm going to leave that one up to you. The bottom, you're going to leave your stitch marker on, and the icing one, your last band, you're just going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. So your last band is going through all of the loops that were on your hook, and you're going to tie it off. They're the exact same pieces. So I'm going to start off making this one, and I'm using the caramel color for the brown. Now I'm going to do 6 single crochets in the magic ring. Sorry, I was closing my door. 6 single crochets in the magic ring. I'm using the bottom part of my loom. In my first band, I'm going to wrap around 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now you're pulling 6 bands through, one at a time. Reach in, grab your band, bring it through, end on your hook, and top loop over. Bring it to the side, and go back in to grab your second. Put your end on your hook, and your top 2 loops over. Bring it to the side, and you're going to continue. Back in, band through, end on your hook, and top 2 loops over. I'm going to remove my piece off the loom, move my bands around so it's nice and even, and attach my stitch marker to the band that's around my hook. You should have 6 stitches. For round 2, what I'm going to do is an increase on each chain around. So it's 2 bands, one at a time. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So at the end of round 2, you're going to have 12 stitches. I'm going to go on my first chain, and that basically is 2 single crochets in that one chain. Back in, and repeat. Increase, back in, and continue until you get to your stitch marker. And the last chain, same thing, 2 bands. Back in. You have 12 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. This is our last round for these pieces, and we're going to increase to 18 stitches. If you're doing this one, you're just going to leave your stitch marker on when you're done. And if you're doing this one, your last band, you're going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. So the pattern goes single crochet followed by an increase, single crochet followed by an increase, and you're going to repeat this pattern 6 times and you'll have 18 stitches when you're done. So I'm going to go in my first chain, not where it's getting pulled, and just bring 1 band through. Chain 2 is your increase. So every second chain, add 2 bands. Back in. And repeat 1, 2. Continue until you get to the stitch marker. Back in. So if you're doing your top icing piece, do a slip knot. If not, you're just going to continue last band and remove your stitch marker and add it to this band that's around your hook. Should have 18 stitches when you're done. Now I'm using the bottom piece, and you're going to use the color that you would like to use. For my next 3 rows, I'll be using white. And for this round, what we're going to do is 18 single crochets, and I'm grabbing the inside loops only. So the one that's facing the center of your piece all the way around. I'm changing color, so I'm going to start off with a slip stitch. So my first band, I have 18 bands here. 6, 12, and 18. My first band is going through all the loops that are on my hook. Just going to grab the end as if you were doing a slip knot, but you're just going to slide and don't pull that band. And you're going to continue going around, grabbing the inside loops only. So I have 18 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to this band that's around your hook very gently, so you're not pulling this band, because then otherwise you're going to have a gap right there. It's not just very supportive right there. Now I'm going to do 18 single crochets again. I'm using the white color. So right now we've done this row. We're here, and my next row for round 3, I'll be adding the eyes, which is optional. So right now for round 2, I'm going to do 18 single crochets, 1 band in each chain. Don't go where it's getting pulled. Don't start in your slip knot. You want to start in your first chain. 1 band in each chain until you get to the stitch marker. Again, you have 18 stitches. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 2, I'm going to add the eyes, and I'm going to add them on chains 7 and 10. So right here I have 18 bands, 6, 12, and 18. So 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, I'm adding the eyes. Now if you're using beads, all you're doing is just pinching the band and pushing it through. So grabbing the ends and pushing it through. If you don't have the beads, the eyes are optional. You can take, I'd use a black rubber band, and you can wrap your band around your hook 4 times. So you have 4 loops, and then you're just sliding it onto the color band that you're using for this round. So you're just pinching and sliding, and there'd be your eye. So you're just adding 1 band in each chain. Eyes are on chains 7 and 10. You have 18 stitches. Remove your stitch marker, and then we're going to fix the eyes up. So attach your stitch marker, and I'm just going to push this on my hook a little bit and turn this around. I want to make the eyes flush, so I'm going to turn it inside out and push. You're going to see a little V. Push either your bands or your bead through that little V. So you'll turn it around, you'll see a little V, and just push it through. And that will bring the eyes flush with it. So it's flat. For rounds 4 to rounds 8, we're going to do 18 single crochets. So each pile I have 18 bands, so at the end of each round you're going to have 18 stitches. All we're going to be doing is a single crochet in each chain around. 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around. I'm going to use red for rounds 4, 5, and 6. Change color to the pink, and then change again to the white. When you're changing colors, you want to do a slip stitch. So I'm going to do the first round with you, starting with a slip stitch, and then you're going to pause the video and come back to me when you're done. This is our last round, so your last band, you're going to do a slip knot to tie it closed. So I'm going to go in my first chain, not where it's getting pulled, and I'm going to start with a slip stitch because I'm changing the color. So you're bringing it through all the loops, grab your end and slide. Now you're just going through each one of the chains with 1 band in each. All the way until you get to the stitch marker. Now you can leave the stitch marker and use another one so you won't lose track of which rounds you're at, or you can remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. You're going to start for round 5 in your actual chain. Don't go in your slip knot. You want to go in your chain, and that's where you're going to start for round 5. So you can pause the video and come back to me when you're done. In a second, I'm about to show you how to do the mouth. I'm going to be showing you how to do it this way, but I also kind of want to add in the option of doing it this way. So I'm going to show you how to do that, but if you're going to do this one, which maybe I think it's more of a preference, this one I'm going to double band in a second, and this one is just a single band, and I kind of went to the stitches below. So I'm going to show you how to go through these stitches, but I also kind of want to give you the option to go right below and just pull this band through and do a slip knot with a single white band or the color that you have at the bottom. So I kind of want to just give you both of these options. So right now you should have the cake piece and the icing done. Before I attach those pieces, I'm going to add a little mouth and add some stuffing. So right now, if you did add the eyes and you'd like to add a little mouth, pick whatever color you would like to use. I'm going to use a red, and I'm going to double this. So I just doubled my band. Now I'm going to bring this through right below the eyes, just through one little stitch. And I'm going to bring the band through, grab the end and do a slip knot. And then bring my slip knot to the back. So I'm going to go from the inside and bring my band through. Maybe loosen up some tension. Now I'm going to add some stuffing. You want to make sure that you keep the shape of the cake. You don't want it to kind of like be bigger than what it is. When you get halfway through stitching the icing through, we're going to add a little bit more stuffing just to fill the top part if needed. So you're just going to put it down, make sure that it's not bigger than the bottom base. Now taking your piece, you're going to put it on top. I am going to start right beside the slip knot here. What you're going to do is you're going to grab the cake piece first and then the icing. But to each chain around on the cake, I'm only grabbing the inside loop only first to each chain around. So just the inside, I'm going to go down and up. And I'm going to see which part I like better. It's going to be this one with the curl facing down. I'm going to grab the chain from the bottom to the top. So I just grabbed one on the cake, two on the icing. And you're going to do a slip stitch to each chain around. So I'm going to grab from the bottom down, just the inside loop only, up to the chain. And through all the loops. Inside loop only, from the bottom to the top, through the chain of the icing. And you're going to do this all the way around. Give yourself a tug here if you can't find your chain. If your band is being tugged, you're just going to the next chain over. You're just bringing your bands through all of the loops. When you get halfway done we're just going about here. We're just going to add a little bit more stuffing so that the icing doesn't go down. We want it to go up a bit. Oh, inside loop only. I think this is the last one that I'll do, and then I'll just add a little bit more stuffing. So I'm just going to move this up on my hook a bit, or you can attach your stitch marker just for a little bit of support. And you're just going to take a little bit of stuffing and fill the top area. I think a stitch marker would probably be better around that band. And again, we don't want to lose the shape. You don't want to see the stuffing coming through, but we just need a little bit more for the top part of the stuffing. And I'm just going to continue. And the last one. This one I'm just going to pull tighter because you have to close it off. Now if you want to, you could do a complete round so that it's an even circle around. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to undo this band and I'm just going to grab onto my loop before, and I'm just going to single crochet, and I think I'm just going to do a complete round. So with another band, I'm going to go to my first chain where I started, not the little slip knot, the first chain, and I'm just going to tie it off. If that was, I'm just going to undo. I'm sorry, because I did a single crochet. We want slip stitches. So I have to bring my band through, and to do a complete round, I'm going to go from the bottom to the top and tie it off by just pulling a bit tighter. So now this is what you should have, your bottom base. Just going to kind of make it a little bit flat by moving your bands around. And that's what you should have so far. Now I'm going to show you how to do the little icing pieces that I have on the top. It's up to you, whatever color that you would like to use. I'm going to show you to do one, and then you're going to pause the video to make yourself another. All it is a chain of 7, and then we're going to reverse with 3 bands in each chain. Your last one is actually going to have 2, because I'm going to use the 3rd band, which you don't see here, to attach it to the actual top of the cake. So I couldn't decide which color I'd like to use, so I think I'm going to add 2 white to the top. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to do the first part, which is a chain of 7. So you'll see that I have 8 bands here. Your first band is going to be a cap band, and you're going to wrap it around your hook 3 times. What you're going to do at the end, though, you're going to attach a stitch marker so it doesn't fall apart for your last band. And then you can pause the video to make another. So I'm going to make my chain of 7. So you have your chain of 7. Your top band, you're going to do a slip stitch and slide. So now you have 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In the next 5 chains, you're adding 3 bands to each chain. So you're doing 3 single crochets in that one chain. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to go through my actual chain so that the loops of that chain are on my hook, and I'm going to do 3 single crochets in that one chain. Back in. And one more time. And now moving to the next chain above, the same thing, 3 single crochets. And continue. Normally I would cut off the cap band at the end, but I honestly think that you can just leave it. It can just stay. I have 1 chain left. I'm going to do 2 single crochets in this one chain, this one chain. Back in. So now you can attach a stitch marker to this band that's around your hook. And you can pause the video and make yourself another, or you could just have the one. It's completely up to you. So I have my strawberry done, and the video for this is on my channel. So I'm just going to show you how you can actually attach it, and then you can make this or come back to me, whatever you'd prefer. So for these little icing pieces, we're going to need 2 bands for each. To attach the strawberry, you're probably going to need 2 bands, and you're just doing slip knots to attach it to the top. So I'm going to get started with the first icing piece, and I'm going to put my band back on my hook and remove the stitch marker. Now I'm going to put my hook through wherever I'd like to have this. So I'm going to put this flat, and that's how it's going to be. I'm going to put my hook through the chain on the cake. You want to make sure that you're catching 2 bands, and I'm going to go back in that same chain where I only had the 2 bands, and I'm going to do a slip knot. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. So you want to find your placement. You want to put this band back on your hook and then remove your stitch marker. And I want to find the placement where I'd like it to be. So I'm just going to have it kind of like this. So I'm going to grab the chain. I'm going to put it down again. Grab the chain or a chain and go through the same stitch where I only had the 2 single crochets and slip knot. Now I just want to make sure that my placement is okay. Now I'm going to turn it to the side here, and I need to secure it so it's not so, floppy here. So I'm just going to grab a chain on the cake. So if I was to put my little icing piece down, it would be flat. And I'm going to grab a chain on the icing. And just kind of bring it down just to make sure. And slip knot. And the same thing with the other side. Grabbing somewhere, a chain on the icing, and bring it down flat. To make sure that it's a good spot. I might move it over. I'm going to go over here. And put it down and slip knot. Now I'm going to take the strawberry, find where I'd like to have it, and which side I like better. So this curl is going this way. I kind of like want to have it like that. So I'm going to go in the middle, maybe, of the strawberry, and I'm going to bring a band through. Just like that. So this is going to help me know where to grab on the cake right below. So I'm going to grab the cake and bring one band through, kind of securing the other side with my fingers and grabbing and doing a slip knot. I'm going to check just to make sure that the placement's okay. And now this part I'm going to grab. So I'm going to see where the tip is, where I want to have it. I'm going to grab on the cake and a chain on the strawberry and do a slip knot. And fix up the strawberry. Now all you have to do is just hide all the slip knots. For the red, I'm going to go through the strawberry, come out somewhere right beside it, and the other one. And then all the white pieces, I kind of like weave them into the actual icing piece, this round part. The bottom ones I kind of brought through cake, wherever you feel comfortable. And then you can just hide the cake ones. And then you're just going to have to end up fluffing up the cake because we have quite a few slip knots to hide. I have one more, actually two more to hide, and I can do that after. But once you've hid them all, just flatten out your pieces and fluff everything up. But it's pretty much done. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.